Hello everyone, welcome back to English lesson. Today we're still gonna study about 10 common job interview questions in English. Right now we just focus on two questions, that is number 7, future goals and future outlooks, and the number 8, that is focus on the strengths and weaknesses. And without further ado, let's get started. Question number 7 is focus on your future goals or your future outlooks. There are two example questions related to your future goals. The first example questions focus on your long-term goals. You can listen to the questions like, what are your goals for the future? You might also hear, what are your goals for 5 years? Or, what are your career goals? This is always surprising questions. Why do interviewers really want to know about your future goals? Especially in your long-term goals, the interviewer wants to know if you will stick around or move out as soon as you find a better opportunity. Please keep your answer focused on work and company, and also reframe the interviewer that the position aligned with your long-term goals. And here is the example for you as an airline staff candidate. What are your goals for the future? You can see in the first sentence telling about your commitment that you will stick around the company. After that, telling that you keep focused on your work. And finally, telling that your long-term goals align with your work right now. Right now, we move to the second questions. That is focus on your short-term goals. The questions is like, what your first 30 days look like this job? Or what you do in your 90 days in this position? You might also hear, what would your goal in the first year if you were a successful candidate? With these questions, the interviewer isn't really looking for your future dreams. What they want to see is, do your goals and how you accomplish them. The best way to answer these questions is, please you identify how you set your goals. How do you achieve your goals? And how do you solve the problem? Here is the example for you as an airline staff candidate. Please you identify how to answer these questions. The next most common job interview questions in English is focuses on answering your strengths and answering your weaknesses correctly. We start with your strength first. The examples related to asking about your strengths is, what is your great strengths? Or what is your top strengths? You might also hear, if I ask your supervisor to describe you, would he or she say? Or if I ask your colleague to give me 3 words to describe you, what would those 3 words be? The best way to handle this kind of questions is, please you identify a skill or a strength you have and highlight how you use that to do your job well. And then tell your great ability or tell your great skill that make you be different from other candidates. Here is the example for you as an airline staff candidate. The question is, what's your great strength? The first sentence is telling your great strength, and you use that skill to do your job well. Now we focus on how to answer the questions from interviewer related to your weakness. And here is the example of questions. What is your greatest weakness? The best way to answer these questions is, please you do your best to make your answer be positive and turn the weaknesses into the strengths. And you can also share the examples of the skill that you have improved and provide the specific examples of how you recognize your weakness and took the steps to improve them. Here is the example of answering your great weakness to the interviewer. Please do identify this answer. The first step is telling the great weakness, but it is not just telling about your weakness. It is continued by telling the best way to overcome the weakness. And then giving an example of the weakness and the steps to solve it. Right now, as usual, it's your turn to practice. Please you practice to answer those 4 questions by looking at the examples given. Question number 1. What are your goals for 5 years? Number 2. What your first 30 days look like in this job? Number 3. What's your great strength? Number 4. What's your great weakness? Okay everyone, I think that's all for today, and please you answer these questions and see you.